G'day, how are we all? Thank you for joining me. I'm Mama Duck. Welcome to my channel, Fulcher, which is Irish for welcome. So it's a reasonably warm Saturday evening here in Ireland. I'm somewhere in Mayo, my little cottage. I just thought I'd pop on to my channel, say thank you to everyone that's building a little community here and subscribing. Thank you everyone who supports my comedy by clicking on the links to all my comedy videos as well as all the body positive stuff. It's like there's a mixed bag on my channel. Got podcasts, got vlogs, got a bit of stand-up comedy, all sorts. Just scenic views of Ireland as I travel around. And there's also a playlist on my channel entitled Reading Aloud, where I read various things from various books. I've read a few chapters of Great Expectations and I will continue with that series in the future. But right now, I wanted to introduce you to one of my favourite books. The CWA, which is a Country Women's Association in Australia. The Country Women's Association book of the CWA Cookery Book and Household Hints. Now, this book has been around for nearly 100 years. It's got all sorts in here. It's got like instructions on how to cure scald in fowl's legs and things like that. It's just brilliant. And when I was a much younger woman, when I was a teenage bride a long time ago, before life took me on rough, winding, but ultimately rewarding journeys, I used to refer to this book when cooking the evening meal, or when tending to my chickens, or when like decorating or cooking for Christmas, all that sort of thing. But there is a recipe in here which I find hilarious in the context of the 21st century, because this book is all about self-sustainability and self-reliance when living in remote farming properties in Australia. So it's basically all about household economy and home management. So it's got things in here like, you know, how to recycle your scrap material into mats to keep, you know, the hallway warm during winter, and how to make like a little brazier out of a kerosene tin as a few coals to warm a cold hallway in winter, that sort of thing. But this is particularly amusing. I find this recipe is malted milk. Okay, this is before the days where you just went to a supermarket. Malted milk, wheat, water and milk. Wash some wheat, put it into a thin muslin bag and put to soak in water for 24 hours. Winter time is best for this, as it is liable to turn sour if soaked in summer. When soaked, lay on a damp bag on the ground with another wheat bag on top. Keep the bags damp, and as soon as the wheat begins to shoot, the young shoots will show through the muslin bag. Take out and dry, and bake a pale brown in the oven. Put through a grist mill and boil a little in milk as required. You will then have a delicious malted milk. The wheat may be gristed very finely, added to a little flour, and made into very nice malt biscuits. So it's not just like you might find in a 1950s American recipe book for malted milk. You know, first go to the drugstore and buy a container of malt and then spoon 3 teaspoons of malt powder into the milk and like use your mix master to like make a fluffy milkshake. No, it's just like go and get some wheat, soak the wheat, sprout the wheat, dry the wheat in your oven, bearing in mind that the oven would have been like a solid fuel, like firewood stove, like probably Meta's number 2. So you have to like light the fire to cook your meal. When it's on a low heat, you're drying out your sprouted wheat, and then you put it through a grist mill, which is like one of the hand grinders like this, and then put a bit of that into milk, the malted milk. It's would you bother doing it today for your husband? Would you go? I suppose if you're out the back paddock anyway. It doesn't take long to put a bit of wheat on a bag and leave it for a day. But I mean, So yeah, so I just thought, so that's hooray to the heroines of the Country Women's Association who kept the farms running while their men were outdoors mostly. The women would have to run the home and the farm. The men ran the farm, but really the women did the accounts, and the women like cooked for everyone on the farm, and the women planned everything. And but the men got to drive the tractors, I guess. So that made them the boss. You have to excuse me. I'm reaching down here because I'm being menaced, if not savaged, by my new addition. So she was like leaping up. I have like a sash on my shirt and it's knotted behind me, and she was like jumping at the strings and scratching me, the little imp. This is Shirley. Shirley, you can't be serious. I am serious. And don't call me Shirley. Alright, that's it. Really. I just wanted to say g'day on Saturday night. Say thank you to everyone who's been subscribing. I do appreciate it. I do read all the comments. I do appreciate that there is a language barrier to a great deal of my subscribers, but I thank you for hanging around and being amused anyway. Right. I will be around more often, but right now I'm going to pop off and I'll see you a bit later on. So, thank you. Have a fabulous weekend, and I'll see you when you've got nothing on.